On what island is the city of Palma located? Mallorca. Palma, often referred to as Palma de Mallorca, is the capital and largest city of the Balearic Islands, an autonomous community of Spain. It is situated on the island of Mallorca, a popular Mediterranean tourist destination known for its stunning coastline and historic sites. What is the tallest mountain in Greece? Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus is the highest mountain in Greece and a significant peak in European geography. It is famously known in Greek mythology as the dwelling place of the Olympian gods. What island is located directly north of Sardinia? Corsica. Corsica is a French island situated in the Mediterranean Sea, directly to the north of the Italian island of Sardinia. The Strait of Bonifacio separates these two prominent Mediterranean islands. What country is part of the EU, but often considered to be geographically part of Asia? Cyprus. Cyprus is an island nation in the eastern Mediterranean. While geographically located in Western Asia, it is politically and culturally aligned with Europe and has been a member of the European Union since 2004. What is the capital of Albania? Tirana. Tirana is the capital and largest city of Albania, located in the central part of the country. It functions as Albania's primary economic, cultural, and political hub. What Dutch city is home to Europe's busiest port? Rotterdam. Rotterdam, a major city in the Netherlands, hosts Europe's largest and busiest port. Its strategic location on the Rhine-Meuse Scheldt Delta makes it a crucial global hub for maritime trade and logistics. What is the capital of Ireland? Dublin. Dublin is the capital and largest city of Ireland, situated on the east coast at the mouth of the River Liffey. It serves as a major centre for commerce, administration, and culture in the country. What sea is located on the eastern end of the Bosphorus? Black Sea. The Bosphorus Strait is a narrow, natural strait and an internationally significant waterway in northwestern Turkey. It connects the Sea of Marmara with the Black Sea, making it a critical choke point for maritime traffic from countries bordering the Black Sea. What is the busiest airport serving Paris? Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle Airport, CDG, also known as Roissy Airport, is the largest international airport in France and the second busiest in Europe. It serves as a major hub for Air France and a crucial gateway for international travel. What is the name of Germany's highway system? The Autobahn. The Autobahn is Germany's federal-controlled access highway system, famous for sections where there is no general speed limit for cars and motorcycles. This extensive network facilitates efficient transportation across the country and is a key part of its infrastructure. What region, starting with T, includes parts of Bulgaria, Greece, and Turkey? Thrace. Thrace is a historical and geographical area in southeast Europe, shared by Bulgaria, northern Thrace, Greece, western Thrace, and Turkey, eastern Thrace. Its strategic location has given it significant historical and cultural importance, influenced by various civilizations over millennia. From what Greek island do lesbians originate? Lesbos. Lesbos is a Greek island located in the northeastern Aegean Sea, historically renowned as the home of the ancient Greek lyric poet Sappho. The term, lesbian, is derived from the island's name, a reference to Sappho's poetry which often expressed love between women. Other than Cyprus, what island country is located in the Mediterranean Sea? Malta. Malta is an archipelago in the central Mediterranean Sea, situated south of Sicily, Italy. It is one of the world's smallest and most densely populated sovereign states, with a rich history shaped by its strategic location and successive foreign rule. What is France's largest coastal city? Marseille. Marseille is the second largest city in France and its largest coastal city, serving as a major port on the Mediterranean Sea. With a history spanning over 2,600 years, it has been a significant trading hub since ancient times and is known for its diverse culture. What mountain range, starting with C, occupies a significant part of Romania? Carpathians. The Carpathian Mountains form a major mountain range across Central and Eastern Europe. A substantial portion, including the Southern Carpathians, also known as the Transylvanian Alps, lies within Romania, defining much of its geography and biodiversity. What island chain in the Atlantic was first settled by Portugal in the 1400s? Azores. The Azores are an archipelago of 9 volcanic islands in the North Atlantic Ocean, located approximately 1,500 kilometers west of mainland Portugal. They were discovered and settled by the Portuguese during the 15th century Age of Discovery, becoming a crucial stopover for transatlantic voyages. In what country is the volcano Eyjafjallajökull located? Iceland. Eyjafjallajökull is one of Iceland's smaller ice caps and volcanoes, which gained international prominence due to its 2010 eruption that caused significant disruption to air travel across Europe. Iceland is a highly geologically active country, situated on the mid-Atlantic ridge. What is the largest city in Europe whose name ends in Berg? St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg, formerly Petrograd and Leningrad, is Russia's second largest city and a major European cultural center. Founded by Peter the Great in 1703, it served as the imperial capital for over 2 centuries and is renowned for its architectural grandeur. What is the English name of the city of Copenhagen? Copenhagen. Copenhagen is the original Danish name for Copenhagen, the capital and largest city of Denmark. This city is a significant economic and cultural hub in Scandinavia. What are Pont Vecchio and Pont Neuf? Bridges. Pont Vecchio is a famous medieval stone bridge in Florence, Italy, known for its shops built along it. Pont Neuf, meaning new bridge, is ironically the oldest standing bridge across the River Seine in Paris, France. Alphabetically, what is the first country in Europe? Albania. Albania is a country in Southeast Europe, bordering Montenegro, Kosovo, North Macedonia, and Greece. Its capital city is Tirana, and it is known for its rich history and diverse landscapes. In what English city would you find a famous street named Penny Lane? Liverpool. Penny Lane is a well-known street in Liverpool, England, famously referenced in a 1967 song by the Beatles. Liverpool is a significant port city in the northwest of England, recognized for its rich maritime history and cultural heritage. What is the capital of the Philippines? Manila. Manila serves as the capital city of the Philippines, an island nation located in Southeast Asia. It is a major global city and a significant center for the country's economy, politics, society, and culture. What element has the symbol Pb? Lead. Pb is the chemical symbol for lead, originating from its Latin name, plumbum. Lead is a dense, malleable, and soft heavy metal that has been historically used in various applications but is now known for its toxicity. The West Bank is one Palestinian territory. What is the other one? The Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip is a coastal Palestinian territory located on the eastern coast of the Mediterranean Sea. Alongside the West Bank, it forms the two main Palestinian territories, and both are central to ongoing geopolitical discussions in the Middle East. Until the 1960s, Catholic Mass was almost always delivered in what language? Latin. The Second Vatican Council, Vatican II, in the 1960s introduced significant liturgical reforms, allowing Mass to be celebrated in vernacular languages. Prior to this, Latin was the universal liturgical language of the Roman Rite, a practice deeply embedded for centuries. Favelas are shanty towns in what country? Brazil. Favelas are informal settlements or slums primarily found in Brazil, particularly in the peripheral areas of large cities such as Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo. These communities are characterized by irregular housing construction and often face challenges with infrastructure and public services. What is Africa's tallest mountain? Mount Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro is an inactive stratovolcano in Tanzania and stands as the highest mountain in Africa, as well as the highest single freestanding mountain in the world. It is a prominent landmark composed of three distinct volcanic cones, Kibo, Mawanzi, and Shira. What element has the symbol Sn? Tin. Tin is a chemical element represented by the symbol Sn, derived from its Latin name, stannum, and has an atomic number of 50. It is a soft, silvery white metal known for its malleability and corrosion resistance, making it suitable for alloys, protective coatings, and solders. What is the heaviest internal human organ? Liver. The liver is the largest internal organ in the human body, performing vital functions like detoxification, protein synthesis, and the production of biochemicals necessary for digestion. It typically weighs around 1.5 kilograms in an adult. What is the United States' top agricultural product? Corn. Corn, maize, is the leading agricultural crop in the United States, both in terms of production volume and economic value. It is primarily utilized for livestock feed, ethanol production, and various food products. In what year was the Battle of Hastings? 1066. The Battle of Hastings took place on October 14, 1066, between the Norman French army of William, Duke of Normandy, and an English army under King Harold Godwinson. This decisive battle marked the beginning of the Norman conquest of England. In what country is Nokia based? Finland. Nokia Corporation is a Finnish multinational telecommunications, information technology, and consumer electronics company. Headquartered in Espoo, Finland, It was once the world's largest mobile phone manufacturer and remains a significant player in network infrastructure. Ulaanbaatar is the capital of which country? Mongolia. Ulaanbaatar, also spelled Ulaanbaatar, is the capital and largest city of Mongolia. It serves as the country's economic, cultural, and political center, situated on the Toul River. In which country did espresso coffee originate? Italy. Espresso, a concentrated coffee beverage, originated in Italy at the turn of the 20th century. It is prepared by forcing hot, high-pressure water through finely ground coffee beans, resulting in a rich, dark brew with a characteristic creamer. Whose embalmed body has been on public display near Red Square since 1924? Vladimir Lenin. Vladimir Lenin, the leader of the Bolshevik Revolution and the first head of Soviet Russia, died in 1924. His body was embalmed and placed in a mausoleum on Red Square in Moscow, where it has remained on public display almost continuously since then, symbolizing the Soviet era. What is the English name for the organization, Médecins Sans Frontières? Doctors Without Borders. Médecins Sans Frontières, MSF, known as Doctors Without Borders in English, is an international humanitarian medical non-governmental organization. It provides emergency medical assistance in conflict zones and countries affected by endemic diseases. MSF was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1999 for its pioneering humanitarian work. Croissants are commonly associated with France, but in which country did they originate? Austria. While croissants are a staple of French bakeries, their origins trace back to Austria. The pastry is believed to have evolved from the Austrian Kipferl, a crescent-shaped roll, with the French adapting and popularizing it into the buttery, flaky version known today. Which 13th-century conqueror is estimated to have over 350 million direct descendants today? Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongol Empire, is renowned for his vast conquests in the 13th century. Genetic studies have indicated that a significant portion of the global male population, particularly in Asia, shares a common Y chromosome lineage, pointing to Genghis Khan and his male descendants as a likely source due to their widespread influence and numerous offspring. What does a bibliophile typically love or collect? Books. A bibliophile is an individual who has a great love for books, often collecting them for their content, rarity, or aesthetic qualities. The term combines the Greek words biblion, book, and philos, loving, denoting someone with a deep appreciation for literature and the physical form of books. What type of animal was widely utilized to deliver messages during World War I? Homing pigeon. Homing pigeons played a crucial role in communication during World War I, carrying vital messages between the front lines and headquarters. Their natural ability to return to their loft over long distances, coupled with their speed and small size, made them an effective and often indispensable means of communication when other methods were unreliable or impossible. What is the name for the art of preparing and stuffing animal skins? Taxidermy. Taxidermy is the art of preparing, stuffing, and mounting the skins of animals, particularly vertebrates, for display or study. It is commonly utilized in natural history museums for exhibitions and by hunters for preserving trophies. What empire was ruled by Nebuchadnezzar? Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar II was a prominent king of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, reigning from approximately 605 BC to 562 BC. He is historically recognized for his military campaigns, including the destruction of Jerusalem, and for monumental construction projects within Babylon, such as the Hanging Gardens. What country became independent from Pakistan in 1971? Bangladesh. Bangladesh achieved its independence from Pakistan in 1971 following a 9-month-long liberation war. The conflict arose from significant linguistic, cultural, and economic disparities between East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, and West Pakistan. What is another name for caribou? Reindeer. Caribou and reindeer refer to the same species, Rangifer tarandus, a deer native to Arctic and subarctic regions. While reindeer is often used for domesticated animals in Eurasia and caribou for wild populations in North America, they are biologically the same species. In what city would you find the Bolshoi Theatre? Moscow. The Bolshoi Theatre is a historic theatre situated in Moscow, Russia, renowned globally for its ballet and opera performances. It stands as one of the world's oldest and most prestigious opera and ballet companies. What African country is projected to pass the United States in population by the year 2055? Nigeria. Nigeria, which is currently the most populous nation in Africa, is projected to surpass the United States in population by approximately 2055. This demographic trend highlights significant global population shifts and Nigeria's substantial growth, with considerable implications for resource management and development. What is the official name of the city of Derry, in Northern Ireland? Londonderry. The city of Derry, located in Northern Ireland, bears the official name of Londonderry. This dual nomenclature reflects the complex historical and political divisions within Northern Ireland, where Unionists typically prefer Londonderry, and nationalists generally opt for Derry. What supercontinent contained nearly all the world's land during the age of the dinosaurs? Pangaea. Pangaea was a supercontinent that existed during the late Paleozoic and early Mesozoic eras, about 335 to 175 million years ago. It assembled from earlier continental units and later broke apart into the continents we know today, a process explained by plate tectonics. Its existence is crucial for understanding the distribution of ancient life forms and geological formations. What element are diamonds made of? Carbon. Diamonds are an allotrope of carbon, meaning they are composed entirely of carbon atoms arranged in a specific crystal structure. This tetrahedral arrangement of carbon atoms gives diamonds their exceptional hardness and high refractive index, making them valuable in both jewelry and industrial applications. Graphite is another common allotrope of carbon. What is the most widely produced assault rifle of all time? AK-47. The AK-47, officially known as the Automat Kalashnikova, is a gas-operated assault rifle developed in the Soviet Union by Mikhail Kalashnikov. Renowned for its reliability, low production cost, and ease of use, it has become the most widely produced firearm of its type globally and has been a significant weapon in numerous conflicts worldwide. Tenerife, La Palma, and Fuerteventura are part of what Spanish island chain? Canary Islands. The Canary Islands are Spanish archipelago and autonomous community located in the Atlantic Ocean, off the coast of northwestern Africa. Formed by volcanic activity, they are known for their diverse landscapes, unique ecosystems, and important strategic location, attracting significant tourism and contributing to Spain's maritime influence. What mythical bird rises from its own ashes? Phoenix. The phoenix is a long-lived mythical bird, found in the mythologies of ancient Greece, Persia, Egypt, and others, that cyclically regenerates or is reborn from the ashes of a fire. It symbolizes renewal, rebirth, immortality, and triumph over adversity, making it a powerful and enduring cultural motif across civilizations. In the year 1800, what was the Earth's largest undiscovered landmass? Antarctica. In 1800, Antarctica remained largely undiscovered by European explorers, though its existence was theorized. It is the Earth's southernmost continent, almost entirely covered by ice, and holds the world's largest reserve of fresh water. Its remote location and extreme conditions meant its full exploration and mapping only began in the 19th and 20th centuries. Which U.S. city, once the fourth largest, experienced a significant population decline? Detroit. Detroit, Michigan, was once among the largest cities in the United States, peaking in population in the mid-20th century. It experienced a dramatic decline due to deindustrialization, particularly in the automotive industry, and subsequent urban decay. Which iconic Paris cabaret, renowned for the Cancan dance, is a significant cultural landmark of the Belle Époque era? Moulin Rouge. The Moulin Rouge is a historic cabaret in Paris, France, famous for its Cancan dancers and its role in French culture during the Belle Époque. Established in 1889, it became an emblematic venue for entertainment and artistic expression, frequently depicted by artists like Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec. What common word is synonymous with pedagogue? Teacher. A pedagogue is traditionally defined as a teacher, particularly one who is rigid or dogmatic in their approach. The term originates from Greek, referring to a slave who accompanied children to school. According to Irish folklore, what traditional gift is bestowed upon those who kiss the Blarney Stone? The gift of gab, eloquence. The Blarney Stone, located at Blarney Castle in County Cork, Ireland, is a block of Carboniferous limestone. Kissing the stone, which involves leaning backward over a parapet, is said to bestow the gift of gab, or great eloquence upon the kisser, a popular Irish tradition. Which archipelago at the southern tip of South America is known as Land of Fire? Tierra del Fuego. Tierra del Fuego is an archipelago located at the southernmost tip of South America, divided between Argentina and Chile. Its name, meaning, Land of Fire, in Spanish, was given by Ferdinand Magellan in 1520, reportedly due to the numerous native fires seen along the coastline. Which country features cities named Cairo, Oxford, Berlin, and Athens within its borders? United States. The United States has numerous cities named after famous international locations, such as Cairo, Illinois, Oxford, Mississippi, Berlin, New Hampshire, and Athens, Georgia. These names reflect historical influences, migration patterns, and sometimes a sense of civic pride or aspiration. When traveling by road from Toulouse to Zaragoza, which major mountain range would one typically cross? The Pyrenees. The Pyrenees is a mountain range that forms a natural border between France and Spain, extending approximately 491 kilometers from the Bay of Biscay to the Mediterranean Sea. A journey between Toulouse, France, and Zaragoza, Spain, necessitates crossing this prominent geographical barrier. Which Greek deity is the mythological equivalent of the Roman god Neptune? Poseidon. In ancient Greek mythology, Poseidon was the god of the sea, storms, earthquakes, and horses. His Roman counterpart was Neptune, who also presided over the sea, illustrating the syncretism and parallel development in the pantheons of these two classical cultures. What is the name of the French national flag adopted during the French Revolution, consisting of 3 equal vertical bands of red, white and blue? Tricolor. The tricolor, or tricolor, is the national flag of France, featuring 3 vertical bands of blue, white, and red. It was adopted during the French Revolution, with the colors representing the ideals of liberty, blue, equality, white, and fraternity, red, symbolizing the revolutionary spirit. Who became President of the USA on the death of Franklin D. Roosevelt and remained in office until 1953? Harry S. Truman. Harry S. Truman became President of the USA following the death of Franklin D. Roosevelt in April 1945, serving until 1953. His presidency saw the end of World War II, the dropping of atomic bombs on Japan, the beginning of the Cold War, and the Korean War. What is the name for a device that measures the rate of rotation of a revolving shaft? Tachometer. A tachometer is an instrument designed to measure the rotational speed of a shaft or disc, commonly used in motor vehicles, aircraft, and other machinery. It typically displays revolutions per minute, RPM, providing crucial data for operational efficiency and safety. What is the name for the massacre of the French ruling class while in church by local people at Palermo in 1282 that started a revolution that spread to other parts of the country? Sicilian Vespers. The Sicilian Vespers refers to a rebellion that began on Easter Monday in 1282 in Palermo, Sicily. It was a violent uprising against the rule of King Charles I of Anjou, leading to widespread massacres of the French population and ultimately resulting in the Aragonese taking control of Sicily. What is a sleep disorder characterized by pauses in breathing during sleep? Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a potentially serious sleep disorder where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. This condition can lead to fragmented sleep, loud snoring, and excessive daytime fatigue, and is often linked to cardiovascular health issues. Elizabeth II is the Queen Regnant of how many independent sovereign states known informally as the Commonwealth realms, for which she holds each crown separately and equally in a shared monarchy? 16. At the time of this question, Queen Elizabeth II served as the monarch of 16 Commonwealth realms. These are independent sovereign states where the British monarch also acts as their respective head of state, symbolizing historical ties and a shared constitutional heritage. The modern British period of history called the Winter of Discontent began when? 1978. The Winter of Discontent refers to the severe winter of 1978-79 in the United Kingdom, marked by widespread strikes by public sector trade unions. These industrial actions caused significant disruption to public services and contributed to the subsequent fall of James Callaghan's Labour government. Which part of the body would be treated if the patient was suffering from lumbago? Back. Lumbago is a common medical term referring to pain experienced in the lower back region of the body. It is a symptom, not a diagnosis, often caused by muscle strain, ligament sprain, or other underlying spinal issues. In July 2009, why did Russian physicists begin trying to synthesize unanseptium? It is an undiscovered chemical element. Unanseptium, now officially known as tennessine, TEAS, is a synthetic chemical element with atomic number 117. Scientists at the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research in Dubna, Russia, in collaboration with American physicists, aimed to synthesize this superheavy element to extend the periodic table and study the properties of extreme nuclei. Which 18th-century self-taught Liverpudlian, who studied human anatomy and spent 18 months dissecting horses, is best known for his paintings of horses, such as Whistlejacket, sometimes accompanied by hounds, and of animals such as lions, tigers, giraffes, monkeys, and rhinoceroses? George Stubbs. George Stubbs was a prominent 18th-century English painter celebrated for his remarkably accurate and detailed depictions of animals, especially horses. His extensive anatomical studies, including detailed dissections, allowed him to render animal forms with unparalleled realism and scientific precision. Which wonder of the ancient world, begun in 356 BC at Ephesus under the direction of Dinocrates, took over a century to build? Temple of Diana. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, dedicated to the Greek goddess of the hunt, was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Its construction, starting around 356 BC, spanned over 120 years, making it an architectural marvel of its time. Before she became a member of parliament, what was Margaret Thatcher's occupation? Barrister. Margaret Thatcher, a prominent figure in British politics and later the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, was a qualified barrister before entering public office. Her legal background provided her with a disciplined approach to policy making and governance. Which country was divided at the 17th parallel in 1954? Vietnam. Vietnam was temporarily divided at the 17th parallel into North and South Vietnam following the 1954 Geneva Accords, which aimed to end the First Indochina War. This division, initially intended to be provisional, ultimately led to the Vietnam War as reunification efforts failed. What word can, depending on context, mean white, reddish, or black and blue? Livid. The word livid has multiple connotations based on context. It can describe a pale, ashen appearance, suggesting extreme anger or fear, or refer to the discolored, bruised appearance of flesh, indicating injury or intense rage. What was Beethoven's last symphony? Ninth. Ludwig van Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, also known as the Choral Symphony, is his final complete symphony, premiered in 1824. It is celebrated for its groundbreaking inclusion of vocal soloists and a chorus in its final movement, setting Friedrich Schiller's Ode to Joy. In 1346, Edward III and his son the Black Prince achieved a significant victory against French forces at which location? Crecy. The Battle of Crecy, fought in 1346 near Crecy en Ponthieu, was a pivotal English victory during the Hundred Years' War. Led by King Edward III and his son, Edward, the Black Prince, the English forces famously used the longbow to decimate a larger French army. What Christian church observes the Sabbath on Saturday? The Seventh-day Adventist Church. The Seventh-day Adventist Church is a Protestant Christian denomination that observes the Sabbath from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. This practice is based on their interpretation of the biblical commandment to keep the seventh day holy. What is the name of the condition where the sufferer can fall asleep at any time? Hypersomnia. Hypersomnia is a chronic neurological disorder characterized by excessive daytime sleepiness or prolonged nighttime sleep. Individuals with hypersomnia experience an irresistible urge to sleep during waking hours, often leading to involuntary and frequent naps that do not alleviate their fatigue. What region covers most of the toe of the boot of Italy? Calabria. Calabria is a region in southern Italy, forming the toe of the Italian peninsula. It is known for its mountainous terrain, extensive coastline, and agricultural produce, making it a distinct geographical and cultural area. Gordon Bennett, a leading figure on the world stage in the 19th century, made his substantial fortune in what field? Journalism. James Gordon Bennett Sr. was an influential American newspaper publisher in the 19th century, known for pioneering modern journalism with the New York Herald. His innovative approaches significantly shaped the newspaper industry and public discourse during his era. What landlocked, mountainous, Central Asian country is bordered by Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan and the People's Republic of China? Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan is a landlocked country in Central Asia, characterized by its predominantly mountainous terrain, dominated by the Tian Shan mountain range. Its strategic location, bordering several Central Asian nations and China, makes it a significant geographical entity in the region. The 50.5 km Channel Tunnel, built under the English Channel or, in France, La Manche, to link the UK and France with road and rail access was finally opened in 1994. When was the first official Anglo-French protocol established to create the railway aspect of the link? 1876. The Channel Tunnel, or Tunnel, is a monumental engineering feat connecting the UK and France, officially opened in 1994. However, the vision for a cross-channel link dates back much further, with the first official Anglo-French protocol for a railway tunnel established in 1876, highlighting early diplomatic and engineering ambitions. What term is used almost exclusively to describe a self-contained piece for one voice, usually with orchestral accompaniment, commonly in opera, although they also form movements of oratorios and cantatas? Aria. An aria is a self-contained musical piece typically for a single vocalist with orchestral accompaniment, prominently featured in operas, oratorios, and cantatas. It allows the performer to express profound emotions and showcase vocal virtuosity, serving as a pivotal moment in dramatic musical works. What is the common name of the chemical NH3, which is found in cleaning products? Ammonia. Ammonia, NH3, is a compound of nitrogen and hydrogen, widely recognized for its strong, pungent odor and alkaline properties. It is a common ingredient in household cleaning products due to its effectiveness in dissolving grease and grime. What award is the equivalent of the Oscars for British industries involved in film, television, video games and forms of animation? BAFTAs. The British Academy Film Awards, BAFTAs, are presented by the British Academy of Film and Television Arts to recognise and honour excellence in cinematic and television arts. They are widely considered the British equivalent of the American Academy Awards, Oscars, holding significant prestige within the global entertainment industry. Key Largo, Key West, Plantation Key, and Big Pine Key are islands off the coast of which U.S. state? Florida. The Florida Keys are an archipelago of tropical islands in Florida, forming the southernmost part of the continental United States. Key West is the southernmost city in the contiguous U.S., famous for its coral reefs and unique ecosystem. Which bank, which opened in 1762, and was the oldest merchant bank in London, collapsed in 1995 after one of its employees lost £827 million, $1.3 billion, speculating primarily on futures contracts? Barings Bank. Barings Bank, founded in 1762, was one of the oldest merchant banks in London. Its collapse in 1995 was due to massive losses incurred by a rogue trader, Nick Leeson, who engaged in unauthorized speculative trading, primarily in futures contracts on the Nikkei 225 index. What was the name of the policy-making body of the USSR before it broke up? Politburo. The Politburo was the highest policy-making committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. It played a central role in governing the USSR, making all major political, economic, and military decisions until the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991. In the USA, what is the minimum age someone can become a senator? 30. Article 1, Section 3 of the United States Constitution sets the qualifications for senators. To be eligible, a person must be at least 30 years old, a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years, and a resident of the state they represent. Seoul is the capital of which country? South Korea. Seoul is the capital and largest metropolis of South Korea, located on the Ha River. It is a major global city and an important center for economy, politics, and culture in East Asia. What is a derogatory term for verse considered of little literary value? Doggerel. Doggerel refers to verse that is trivial, poorly constructed, and often irregular in rhythm and rhyme. It lacks poetic merit and is typically used in a derogatory sense to describe amateurish or uninspired poetry. What fluid results from lacrimation? Tears. Lacrimation is the medical term for the secretion of tears. Tears are a fluid secreted by the lacrimal glands, essential for lubricating and cleaning the eyes, as well as for emotional expression. What word's original meaning was the common people? Hoi polloi. Hoi polloi is a Greek phrase meaning the many or the common people. Historically, it referred to the general populace, often used to distinguish them from the elite. When were 18-year-olds allowed to vote in a general election in the United Kingdom? 1970. The voting age in the United Kingdom was lowered from 21 to 18 by the Representation of the People Act 1969. This reform, which came into effect in 1970, enfranchised a significant portion of the younger population. What was invented by George de Mestral in 1957? Velcro. Velcro was invented by Swiss engineer George de Mestral in 1957. He was inspired by burrs sticking to his dog's fur, leading to the development of the hook and loop fastener system. In which country is the city of Derry? Northern Ireland. Derry, officially known as Londonderry, is the second largest city in Northern Ireland. It is situated on the River Foyle, close to the border with County Donegal in the Republic of Ireland. In 1794 in Pennsylvania, USA, more than 500 armed men attacked the fortified home of Tax Inspector General John Neville because of an excise tax on what product? Whiskey. The Whiskey Rebellion, a significant event in early American history, occurred in 1794 when farmers in western Pennsylvania protested a federal excise tax on distilled spirits. President George Washington's decisive response to suppress the rebellion demonstrated the new federal government's authority to enforce laws. Who wrote the poem, The New Colossus, that is inscribed on the base of the Statue of Liberty? Emma Lazarus. The New Colossus is a sonnet written by American poet Emma Lazarus in 1883. It is famously inscribed on a bronze plaque inside the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty, symbolizing the nation's welcoming stance towards immigrants. In France, what is the SNCF? Railway network. SNCF stands for Société Nationale des Chemins de Fer Français, which is the national state-owned railway company of France. It operates the country's national passenger and freight rail services, playing a crucial role in French transportation infrastructure. Which cable suspension road bridge, known as Galloping Gertie, was completely destroyed due to aeroelastic flutter on the 7th of November 1940? Tacoma Narrows Bridge. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge, famously dubbed Galloping Gertie, collapsed in 1940 due to aeroelastic flutter, a resonant oscillation caused by wind. This engineering failure became a critical case study in the fields of aerodynamics and structural engineering, significantly influencing future bridge designs. Joseph Pulitzer, founder of the Pulitzer Prizes, made his fortune from what? Newspapers. Joseph Pulitzer was a Hungarian-American newspaper publisher who achieved national prominence. He amassed his fortune through newspaper ventures, notably the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the New York World, and later endowed the prestigious Pulitzer Prizes. What is the term used in winemaking for the biological process that turns grape juice into an alcoholic beverage when yeast interacts with sugars to create ethanol and carbon dioxide? Fermentation. Fermentation is a fundamental biochemical process in which microorganisms, such as yeast, convert carbohydrates into alcohol or acids under anaerobic conditions. In winemaking, yeast ferments the sugars in grape must into ethanol and carbon dioxide, a key step in alcohol production. Brazil is the world's biggest coffee producer. What is the second biggest? Vietnam. Brazil holds the long-standing position as the world's largest coffee producer, a significant agricultural commodity for its economy. Vietnam has risen to become the second largest producer, largely specializing in Robusta coffee beans, making it a major player in the global coffee trade. Comedian Ernie Wise was the subject of a publicity campaign launched in the UK on the 1st of January 1985 as being the first person in the UK to use what? Mobile phone. This question pertains to a historical milestone in telecommunications. Ernie Wise's public use of a mobile phone in 1985 marked a significant moment in the introduction of cellular technology to the UK, highlighting the early adoption phase of this now ubiquitous device. How many faces are there on a cube? 6. A cube is a three-dimensional solid object bounded by 6 square faces, 8 vertices, and 12 edges. Understanding basic geometric shapes like a cube is fundamental in various fields, including mathematics, engineering, and physics. EGM is the usual term for what? Extraordinary General Meeting. An Extraordinary General Meeting, EGM, is a meeting of members of a company that occurs at an irregular time, outside of the customary annual general meeting. Such meetings are convened to address urgent matters that cannot wait until the next scheduled annual meeting. What war was waged 1852 to 1856, one side being an alliance between the Ottoman Empire, UK, France, and Sardinia? The Crimean War. The Crimean War, 1853 to 1856, was a conflict primarily fought between the Russian Empire and an alliance of the Ottoman Empire, France, Britain, and Sardinia. It is significant for its impact on European power dynamics and military practices, including early uses of modern nursing and war correspondence. In Greek mythology, what was the name for the deepest part of hell, for those who had committed really bad crimes? Tartarus. In Greek mythology, Tartarus is the deep abyss used as a dungeon of torment and suffering for the wicked and as the prison for the titans. It represents a fundamental concept of divine punishment and cosmic order within ancient Greek belief systems. Where is the Sonoran Desert? On the US-Mexican border. The Sonoran Desert is a large North American desert that spans parts of Arizona and California in the United States and Sonora, Baja California, and Baja California Sur in Mexico. It is known for its unique biodiversity, including the iconic saguaro cactus. What device measures its proper acceleration relative to free fall and is increasingly used in portable electronic devices and video game controllers to detect the orientation or provide game input? Accelerometer. An accelerometer is a device that measures proper acceleration, which is the acceleration experienced by a body relative to its state of free fall. This technology is widely integrated into modern portable electronic devices and video game controllers to sense orientation, motion, and provide intuitive user input by detecting changes in position and movement. In Greek mythology, which horned and hoofed deity was the god of shepherds, pastures, and fertility? Pan. Pan is a prominent figure in Greek mythology, recognized as the god of the wild, shepherds, flocks, mountain wilds, and rustic music. Depicted with the hindquarters, legs, and horns of a goat, he symbolizes the untamed aspects of nature and is associated with fertility and the protection of livestock. Which European capital city has the largest Turkish population of any city outside Turkey? Berlin, Germany. Berlin, the capital of Germany, is home to the largest Turkish diaspora community outside of Turkey. This demographic reality is a result of significant labor migration waves, particularly during the mid-20th century, contributing to Berlin's rich multicultural fabric and influencing its social, economic, and cultural landscape. David LaChapelle is a leading figure in which artistic activity? Photography. David LaChapelle is a renowned American photographer and director, celebrated for his distinctive style that blends fine art, fashion, and pop culture. His elaborate and often provocative works have been featured in major galleries and magazines worldwide, making him a highly influential figure in contemporary photography and visual arts. What branch of anthropology compares and analyzes the origins, distribution, technology, religion, language, and social structure of the ethnic, racial, and/or national divisions of humanity? Ethnology. Ethnology is a vital branch of anthropology that systematically studies and compares the characteristics of different peoples and the relationships between them. It delves into the diverse aspects of human cultures, including social structures, languages, and belief systems, to understand human societal variations. Watt Island, 1 mile from Manhattan, which has been used by the Army as an isolation center for infectious diseases, such as typhoid and TB, and as a drug rehabilitation center, is now deserted. North Brother Island. North Brother Island, located in the East River of New York City, holds a notable place in public health history. It served as an isolation hospital for patients with highly contagious diseases, most famously housing Typhoid Mary Mallon. Today, the island is deserted and functions as a bird sanctuary, a protected natural area. Who designed both the obverse and reverse of the $20 gold coin, or double eagle, produced by the U.S. Mint from 1907 to 1933? Augustus Saint Gaudens. Augustus Saint Gaudens was a prominent American sculptor whose designs for U.S. coinage, particularly the double eagle, are highly regarded. This coin, minted from 1907 to 1933, is considered one of the most beautiful American coins ever produced, part of President Theodore Roosevelt's initiative to elevate American art. What is the name of the cooperation between the USA and Mexico and countries of Central America, with the aim of combating the threats of drug trafficking, transnational organized crime and money laundering? Merida Initiative. The Merida Initiative is a security cooperation agreement between the United States, Mexico, and Central American countries. Launched in 2008, it aims to combat organized crime, drug trafficking, and money laundering through support for law enforcement, judicial reform, and institutional capacity building. What machine carries food vertically between kitchen and dining room? Dumbwaiter. A dumbwaiter is a small freight elevator or lift system specifically designed to transport objects, such as food, dishes, or laundry, between different floors. Commonly used in multi-story homes, restaurants, and hotels, it enhances efficiency and reduces the need for manual carrying. What is the Chinese name for the Yellow River? Huanghe. The Yellow River, known as Huanghe in Chinese, is the second longest river in China and is often called the cradle of Chinese civilization. Its name derives from the vast amounts of yellow loess sediment it carries, which fertilizes the North China Plain but also contributes to frequent devastating floods. What is a Thomson seedless? Grape. The Thomson seedless is a popular variety of seedless grape, widely cultivated for table consumption, raisins, and juice production. It originated from a chance seedling in California in the late 19th century and is recognized for its sweet flavor and crisp texture. In central and northern Italy, the Guelphs, who supported the Pope, and Ghibellines, who supported the Holy Roman Emperor, became a metaphor for rivalry between individual families and cities. When was this? 12th and 13th centuries. The conflict between the Guelphs and Ghibellines was a significant political and social struggle in medieval Italy during the 12th and 13th centuries. Guelphs generally supported the papacy, while Ghibellines championed the Holy Roman Emperor, reflecting broader power struggles and intense urban rivalries. On the Jewish calendar, what is Rosh Hashanah? New Year. Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year, a two-day celebration that marks the beginning of the High Holy Days. It is a time for introspection, prayer, and repentance, initiating a 10-day period that culminates in Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Tamerlane was a 14th century conqueror of Western, South and Central Asia, founder of which empire? The Timurid Empire. Tamerlane, also known as Timur, was a formidable 14th century Turco-Mongol conqueror who established the vast Timurid Empire. His empire stretched across much of Central Asia, Persia, and parts of the Middle East and South Asia, known for both military conquest and significant cultural patronage. What 17th century French playwright is still celebrated for his witty satires, including The School for Wives, The School for Husbands, and The Imaginary Invalid? Molière. Molière, Jean-Baptiste Poquelin, was a seminal French playwright of the 17th century, celebrated for his comedic genius and insightful satires of societal norms. His works are enduring classics of world theatre, known for their sharp wit and commentary on human nature. What is Mexico's largest commercial port? Manzanillo. Manzanillo is Mexico's largest commercial port, strategically located on the Pacific coast in the state of Colima. It serves as a crucial hub for international trade, particularly with Asian markets, handling a significant volume of container traffic and serving as a major entry point for goods into Mexico. When was sliced bread advertised as the greatest forward step in the baking industry since bread was wrapped, first sold? 1928. Sliced bread was first commercially sold in 1928, marking a significant innovation in the baking industry by providing enhanced convenience to consumers. This advancement was made possible by Otto Rohweder's invention of an automatic bread slicing machine. What does the parotid gland produce? Saliva. The parotid gland is the largest of the major salivary glands, situated in front of and below the ear. Its primary function is to produce serous, watery, saliva, which is rich in amylase, an enzyme essential for the initial digestion of carbohydrates. If you went due east of Rio de Janeiro, what country would you get to first? Namibia. Traveling directly east from Rio de Janeiro across the Atlantic Ocean, one would first reach Namibia. This geographical fact highlights the relative proximity and continental alignment between the eastern coast of South America and the southwestern coast of Africa. What name is given to a person or animal with a form of hypopigmentary congenital disorder, characterized by a lack of melanin pigment in the eyes, skin, and hair. Albino. An albino is a person or animal exhibiting albinism, a congenital disorder characterized by a partial or total absence of melanin pigment in the eyes, skin, and hair. This genetic condition results from inherited mutations that impair the production of melanin. Who was the last monarch of the recently reunified Kingdom of Italy? Umberto II. Umberto II served as the last king of Italy, reigning for a mere 34 days from May 9, 1946, until June 12, 1946. His brief tenure concluded with a constitutional referendum that abolished the monarchy, leading to the establishment of the Italian Republic. Who composed the opera, Pagliacci? Leoncavallo. Pagliacci is a celebrated Italian opera in 2 acts, written and composed by Ruggero Leoncavallo. First performed in 1892, it is a prominent work of the Verismo movement in Italian opera, renowned for its dramatic realism and emotional intensity. What was the era of political liberalization in Czechoslovakia in 1968 called? Prague Spring. The Prague Spring was a period of political liberalization and mass protest in Czechoslovakia during the era of its domination by the Soviet Union. It began on January 5, 1968, and was abruptly ended on August 21, 1968, when the Soviet Union and other Warsaw Pact members invaded the country to halt the reforms. This event highlighted the limited autonomy allowed to Eastern Bloc nations under Soviet influence. The Wash is an English estuary that opens to which body of water? North Sea. The Wash is a large square-mouthed estuary and embayment on the east coast of England, constituting a significant geographical feature. It is known for its extensive tidal mudflats and salt marshes, which support a rich biodiversity and serve as an important area for migrating birds. The estuary directly opens into the North Sea, playing a crucial role in coastal ecology and navigation. What is the Hebrew word for the Holocaust? Shoah. Shoah is the Hebrew term for the Holocaust, the genocide of European Jews during World War II. It literally means catastrophe or destruction, and is often preferred by scholars and survivors over Holocaust, which can carry connotations of a burnt offering. The term underscores the immense human tragedy and the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany. Where in the United Kingdom would you find a statue of Anteros? Piccadilly, London, England. The statue of Anteros, often mistakenly referred to as Eros, is a prominent feature of the Shaftesbury Memorial Fountain in Piccadilly Circus, London. Anteros is the Greek god of requited love, sometimes considered the avenger of unrequited love. The statue was erected in 1893 as a memorial to the philanthropic work of Lord Shaftesbury. The mandrill is the world's largest what? Monkey. The mandrill, Mandrillus sphinx, is indeed the world's largest monkey species, renowned for its distinctive colorful facial and posterior markings, particularly vibrant in males. Native to West Central Africa, these highly social primates live in large, multi-male, multi-female groups. Their classification as the largest monkey distinguishes them from apes, which are generally larger and represent a separate primate lineage. Which ancient people, with a confederacy of 5 cities, Acre, Ashdod, Gath, Ashkelon, and Gaza, came into conflict with Israel under Samson, Samuel, and David. Philistines. The Philistines were an ancient people residing in the southern Levant, known for their confederacy of 5 prominent city-states. Their recurring conflicts with the Israelites, particularly during the periods of Samson, Samuel, and King David, are extensively documented in biblical narratives and are a significant aspect of ancient Near Eastern history. What type of computer uses 3 possible values in its calculations, the digits -1, 0, and +1? Ternary computer. A ternary computer operates on a base 3 system, utilizing 3 distinct states for its calculations, typically represented by -1, 0, and +1. This contrasts with the prevalent binary system, base 2, which uses only 0 and 1, offering potential advantages in information density and processing efficiency, though it is not widely adopted commercially. St. James's Palace is located on what street in London? Pall Mall. St. James's Palace, a significant historical royal residence in London, is situated on Pall Mall. Although it is no longer the primary residence of the British monarch, it remains a working palace and holds the distinction of being the senior palace of the sovereign, housing various officers of the royal household. Charles Lindbergh's first non-stop flight across the Atlantic Ocean in 1927 was between which 2 cities? New York and Paris, France. Charles Lindbergh achieved a historic aviation milestone on May 20–21, 1927, by completing the first solo non-stop transatlantic flight. Piloting the Spirit of St. Louis, he flew approximately 3,600 miles from Roosevelt Field in New York to Le Bourget Field in Paris, France, marking a monumental moment in the history of air travel. Who is acknowledged as the founder of Singapore as a trading post and European settlement in 1819? Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles. Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, a prominent British statesman, is widely credited with founding modern Singapore. In 1819, he established Singapore as a strategic trading post for the British East India Company, which was crucial for controlling regional trade routes and developing the island into a major port city. What was the first satellite put into orbit by the USA? Explorer 1. Explorer 1 was the inaugural satellite launched by the United States, on January 31, 1958, as a direct response to the Soviet Union's Sputnik 1. This pivotal launch initiated the U.S. space program and notably led to the discovery of the Van Allen radiation belts, a significant scientific breakthrough.